wrestlers. Okay, so, and then I'm going to go to the second question because I'm going to answer all these at once. Do you guys draw up a very general plan of the entire season? Do you stick to it? Is your planning on the fly or what you see as they wrestle? Okay, so it breaks up into a few things. So the first thing is planning for the year. I plan backwards from NCAAs. So I go backwards from NCAAs and I plan out the season. How I plan it out is, I'll actually pass these around. This is like a sample of 2 week yearly. This is just 2 weeks in that yearly plan, how I'll do it. How I think of wrestling practice, okay? So I learned this from my coach, Greg Schroeder, and this is kind of how we do it. You have hard, medium, light. Okay, those are the three, the most broad outline of what your practices are going to look at. You got hard, medium, light. You have volume or intensity. That's the second piece. So a volume day is, 3 10-minute goes. So the duration is long, intensity is a little bit lighter. Then you have intensity days. So intensity or short goes usually less than 2 minutes. Okay, so it could be 30 seconds. Then, I always think of the live first, so that this is thinking about live. Then you break down the volume and intensity to what you want it to look like. So like I said, like a volume, volumes are the easiest because we actually plan, we build too. So this past week was our first week of official practice. Last year we did 15 minutes this week as our volume goes, so we did a 10 and a 5. They look good this year, so I did a 10 and a 7. So that was their volume. Next week, this week, we will do 20 minutes of volume. The next week, we will be doing 25 minutes of volume for our volume workouts. We build up to 30, and then we add stuff afterwards. We used to build up to an hour. That got to be to this hour go. We used to culminate with this, you go an hour, you rest a lot. It was kind of counterproductive because they just get so sweaty and exhausted that I didn't think it was great. So what we do is we go to 30, and then from there, we usually have some drills afterwards, so we do some conditioning. Intensity, so we'll have a volume day every week, no doubt about it. Then we have our intensity days. So that might include short goes. There's where you get a lot of flexibility. Within the intensity goes, we have a few different things. Could be match situations. On Friday, we did match situations. Basically, we did third period situations, start on the mat, 2 minutes left in the match, bottom guy's down by 1. Bottom guy's down by 2. Top guy has 30 seconds to ride at a time. So just very different scenarios that they have to work through that third period, and that's the toughest period, right? That's when you start managing, and you're starting to figure out, okay, what do I need to do? And then you got to do all these calculations in your head. I actually give them quite a bit of rest between each 2 minute go. I'm getting on track. Okay, so we did match situations. And then 2, there's technical situations. So let's say we're working pop through the middle. We're trying to keep our feet from getting tangled up, them grabbing our feet. So we'll start in the middle. They start with their leg up, and then we're doing technical situations or singles. Maybe we teach singles. And then so it kind of goes from there. So then we break it down. Might be a match. Usually this time of the year, we have match day every week. It's usually on Saturdays. We do match simulations. They have to make a 5% of their weight. We come down here. We're blowing whistles. They're in singlets, just getting them ready to compete. So that's pretty much what it breaks down as. Again, it's like hard, medium, light. Then you get into intensity or volume, and then you talk about what are those hard workouts going to look like. And that's pretty much every week. So we have this yearly plan. We meet on Monday as a staff. We informally met in the past. Now we formally meet on Mondays. So with us, it'll actually be our strength coach and our trainer as well. So we'll go through the whole lineup of the team too, where everyone's at, and then we'll talk about the practice plan for the week. Right now, practices are long. We're trying to get through our technical systems, sort of like you'll see a little bit of it today, how we're finishing singles, how we're getting out of legs, how we're working on the mat. All that teaching takes a lot of time. When we start to get into competition, it's faster. Now we're focusing on specific guys or larger issues that the team might have. So that's kind of how the planning is broken down. Do you think of anything to add?
Yeah, just coming off weekends too, we set up a lot of different times for guys. We do do different things. He says it the best, Coach Ayers, where we take what they're good at and we try to make it even better. But, you know, guys are struggling in situations. We try to line up times during the week, early in the week, to get to the technical stuff that maybe they needed to improve on from the weekend. Then we're also looking planning ahead for the next competition ahead, scouting opponents, things like that. We do a lot with technology too, where we have matches, guys do matches. It's like, okay, I want you to watch these two matches. Then when you come in, because their time is limited, you know, they have this school thing that they have to deal with. So get in, they have a good sense of where we're going to go, direction right away. So we come in, we get to work right away, and get it back out.
This is also, there's a daily adjustment. So we talk about the week, we meet on Monday, we talk about it. But I really try to read the guys. So there's definitely on-the-fly adjustments to even the weekly plan. Even on the day, they might walk in and they just don't look good. Like this week, we had a lot of sickness. So we actually pulled back the reins on Wednesday, and it worked well, actually. We pulled back the reins on Wednesday. It was a little bit easier than we had planned. Thursday was an off day. Then they actually wrestled really good on Saturday, so I was pretty happy. It was a smart move. Sometimes you're wrong, sometimes you're right. I think it was a good move that time. Good question here. How much time in a typical practice should we work on feet, bottom, top, live? It varies. So one thing I don't want them to do is like punch the time card as they walk in the door. So our practices, there's no two practices that look the same during the year, except 2 days out from competition to competition. It's always the exact same thing. Every single competition we do, we follow a direct routine 2 days out. That's the only time they know exactly what's going to happen in terms of practice. That's by design. We want them in a routine. We want them to know how much weight they're going to lose, etc. So we never change that at all. It's a little tougher in high school because you have midweek matches. So your planning is a little bit different. I think you got to train through some of those things. We only have 13 dates, so we have to be up for all those. But we're really looking to peak at the end of the year. So if we'll train through some things, even if it's going to, you know, maybe cost us, just to get to the place we want to be. So practice feet, bottom. Sometimes we have all bottom practice, or top and bottom. We'll wrestle on the mat the whole time. In college, especially for the young guys, top and bottom, as you guys know, if you've wrestled in college, top and bottom is the position where they struggle really bad. Even yesterday with some of the freshmen, you know, they didn't get out. They were good, they're good guys, but they just can't get out from the bottom. The other thing I don't like is kids come in, I hate this notion of like, sorry Heflin, just stand up. Why do we learn just to stand up on bottom? Okay? Why do we learn just to stand up on bottom? Well, we learn like 20 different things on the feet, right? We spend all this time, you've got to have a high crotch, you've got to have a single. You can't believe the kids that don't know how to do a switch when they get to this. Or a good sit out and turn in. It's crazy. They can't do a good switch. How do you not know how to do a good switch? It's just a generational thing, I think, where in my day, I'm getting old now, can't believe it. In my day, we spent a lot more time on bottom. I knew how to do switches, stand up, sit out, I could do all those things where kids come in, they don't know. It's ignored, the position, and they pay. They pay in college for not having good. The problem is in high school, if you're good, you can just stand up and get out on everybody almost. Nobody's really trying to ride if you're good. And then you might run into one or two guys that ride. In college, every guy needs to know how to ride for at least 30 seconds. So you got guys, and then that's where you break someone too. Totally off on the sidebar there, Mike. Okay, good. Any questions there about, yeah?
I just got an overall question. How long you run your practices?
So our practices are never more than 2 hours. 2 hours is a really, really, really long practice for us. Generally speaking, at the beginning of the year, they're at least an hour and a half. Usually these early year practices to an hour and 45, I think, typically, when we're teaching a lot of technique. As we move into the season, they get a lot shorter, this gets to the peaking piece as well. So as you're trying to peak, as we move closer and closer to EIWAs and NCAs, there's variation among the weeks, but as a general statement, when you're trying to get ready to peak, you want your volume down, so the total time wrestling, you want it down, but you want intensity higher. So we won't be sitting here teaching technique and it's this long drawn out thing. They will come in, we'll go over something super quick. You got to know your systems by then, and then we get after it. So pretty hour and a half, I would say, is probably about the average practice time that we do. I think in high school too, and we get guys that are good, right? I mean, generally, like every kid that's a freshman on our team won their state tournament. So they all know how to wrestle, pretty much. It's just like getting these little things, getting them geared up. I think in high school, you're going to have guys who've never wrestled before. So you're going to probably spend, I would think you're going to spend more time on technique in high school than we do. We also have the luxury of getting these guys in the mornings. So that's a huge piece, is we work with them in the mornings as well, individually and in small groups. That's where you really get to the nitty-gritty of the technique and little things that they might not be getting. Good question. Other questions? Peak. Lifting. How much do we incorporate lifting during the season? Again, very difficult at high school. We have it's nice for us. We only wrestle on Friday, Saturday, and sometimes on a Sunday. So our schedule during the season when we're competing is we compete. We lift in the morning on Monday, then we practice in the afternoon. We'll only lift once a week, except if you're big, or you're a big guy, or you're trying to go up, or your weight is not an issue. We'll throw in a second lift with those guys, usually the heavyweights. So we'll actually, last year what we did with our heavyweights, so then, because they'll continue to lose weight if you just run them practice. So we treat them a little differently. Like on Wednesdays last year, it wouldn't be an extra morning lift. We'd actually have them not at practice. So instead of practicing, they would lift. And I think that helped our heavyweight a lot maintain his size because he's trying to be big. He's a smaller heavyweight, wrestled 220 his senior year. So all the practices, he just can't keep the calories high enough. Where we throw in a lift, he's not burning as many calories, he's getting stronger. It actually helped. It made, I think, it made the biggest difference for him last year, where he didn't do well at the EIWA the year prior. Then he qualifies for the NCAAs and he had a really good year last year.
Chris,
wrestling drills.
Chris, how does your lifting look different in season?
Oh, we do kind of lift twice actually. So our strength coach is amazing. I'm a micromanager. In general, I want to know exactly what's going on with the team and everything. But with him, like, I trust him. He's like, you got him. We do a lot of Olympic lifts. Our guys are strong. Like, you put them on a bench, they're okay. You put them on a clean, they can clean a lot of weight. So the bigger Olympic movements, they're good at clean squats. Again, with high school, not sure where you go because there's a technical element. Even with us, it drives a freshman crazy. He's like so strict with them. Like, so they come in and they're almost technique only for like a month on cleans. Like they have hardly any weight. They get pissed. They want to, they sneak in here and they do their own lift because